Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode. Well, actually, welcome to the last episode of the year of the Wired for Success podcast with my colleague Steve Costello and myself, Patience Modevi, where today we're going to talk about, all the little challenges in a really light-hearted way, all the little challenges that parents face around the end of the year, in terms of like the festivities and the customs, the cultural aspects of maybe Christmas or not Christmas, and the end of year festivities. So we've been discussing a little bit about things and we've been having great laughs right here between us. So we'll be sharing a little bit of these stories with you. But basically, the end of years are approaching, and we know that for some people, they might face a little bit of hardship. A little bit or a lot. It depends on where you are. It depends in which kind of family settings you are. And we know that there are a lot of people, either because they are single mothers or single dad, who have difficulties right now at this moment. Because it's our last episode, what we wanted to do is to bring a little bit of lightness into the episode and not leave you thinking so much about the challenges. We will come back in January and talk about the challenges, but we wanted to talk about it in a way that um, you can feel maybe supported, but also you can feel like, okay, I can laugh about it and move forward to this new year that's coming. So, so we've shared a bit of our stories about Christmas, the festivities, the food, which seems to be something that is really important. So Steve was sharing earlier that because he's in France and I'm here in England, he has difficulties finding a turkey. So it would tell you what happens with the turkey.
Okay, I'll share that one. Um, I've got something else to say in a minute as well. Don't let me forget, patience, about we talk a lot about peer pressure, but what about parent pressure?
Sure.
That's a thing as well. Um, so Turkey, yeah, hard to find in France. It's not a thing. It's not the typical thing that French people would eat on Christmas. Interestingly, most Christmas here in France for French families is Christmas Eve. And I know the same. I've lived in Germany and the Netherlands, and quite often it's the same in Germany and the Netherlands too. So the big celebration, the big dinner, the big meal is on Christmas Eve. But we're very traditional British in that way, and we celebrate on Christmas Day. And we would like to have a turkey. So you look around and you try and find a turkey, and it's really difficult. They can be found, but you've got to hunt them out. But fortunately for us, one of our daughters lived in a beautiful Mediterranean town called Perpignan. And in Perpignan, there is a butcher who sells turkeys, which is cool. So, and it's only 6.99 a kilo, euros. What's that in pounds? €7 in pounds, is it about bit less than £7? I don't know.
I think
Um,
it's that
so
much different.
yeah, let's say one for one for now. It's not a lot different. So it's about £7 a kilo. So we need more than 5 kilos because we've got a lot of people for Christmas lunch, which is really cool. So we need to buy two 5 kilogram turkeys, which is going to cost €70. That's scary. €70. And we've not bought a potato yet or roasted one. Or we've not seen the Christmas pudding, which takes how many hours? All of that stuff, and mince pies, which are being made at home, which is really nice, but still, you've got to buy all the ingredients for that. And you've got to make sure you've got all your vegetables and blah, blah. Oh, yeah. What about wine and beer? Add all of that together. I dread to think what it comes to. I don't even want to go down that road. Now, before, when our children were quite small, of course, it never came to our minds. We're the parents, we need to feed the children, and we're going to have a Christmas dinner and blah, blah, blah. So it didn't come to mind. But now it's a little bit different because they're all earning money. They all look after themselves. They don't live with us anymore and so on. So we suggested that they contribute €10 each, which isn't a load of money. It's really not a lot of money. And we thought it would help. And not only that, it kind of helps people to appreciate that this thing costs quite a bit of money, because they're all heading in that direction. They're all beginning to have families and children and so on. So for most of the kids, that was fine. For the youngest, it wasn't at all fine. I'm not saying she doesn't like to part with her money, but she thinks, I often call her my princess. Because she wants to live like a princess, where she doesn't have to carry money and all of that stuff. And also, my son-in-law comes from Mayotte, and the tradition there is not the same. If you go into the parents for Christmas dinner, then the parents would pay without any question, and they wouldn't be asking for any contribution. So he said, "Why are you asking?" Well, because our tradition is that we look after each other and we try and work together on some stuff. And he was okay with it in the end, but he was curious. So there's loads and loads of questions that go to this. But do we ever stop to consider how much Christmas lunch costs? I'll tell you what, I wish I hadn't. It's quite scary. But I'm just going to mention this thing about peer pressure. Okay, we've been talking a lot through the year in different podcasts about peer pressure. And we've talked about how parents can help in relation to peer pressure and so on and so on. We're not going to go down that road today, but I do want to talk a little bit about parent pressure. Because as parents, we're under a lot of pressure from our kids, especially if you celebrate Christmas. And one of my friends was telling me a story about a Nintendo, the latest Nintendo console, whatever that happens to be. I have no idea. And she said her son, who's 9, wanted the latest Nintendo. And she said, "Look, it's not going to happen, mate. She's a single parent. She doesn't have the money." She explained. So little boy is quite happy with that. Okay, well, he's not happy, but he accepts it. Goes to school, and one of his friends at school says, "I'm getting the latest Nintendo for Christmas." So this young guy goes back to mum who said, "I can't go there," and puts a bit of parent pressure on. A little bit of pressure. You've got to get with this Nintendo. My friend at school's getting a Nintendo. Why can't I have a Nintendo? And it's hard, isn't it? It's difficult for parents, and we've got to recognize that it's difficult for parents. And it does make us feel a bit queasy sometimes. It does make us feel awkward. And some of us run out there and stretch the limit and hurt our financial situation because we want to make our kids happy. And that's kind of a nice thing, but it's not nice, is it? The feeling of it isn't nice, so let's not get too serious about this, but there's a whole load of stuff that's almost like, there was a cyclone a few days ago in Mayotte, which is a French department way off in the Indian Ocean. And all of this stuff is a bit like a cyclone, and it kind of whizzes around your head, and we begin to wonder what day it is, which is quite interesting.
And one thing that I must add in what you said is that unfortunately, this is not going to stop. There's always going to be this kind of like parent pressure where this child is doing this, or why is this child not doing this when this child is doing this? But what we want to remind you of here, and the reason as well where we're going a little bit as a light way, is that really and truly, what is important? Like, let's come back to what is really, really important. Really important. Like, we have to go back on the basics. Your health is really important. The fact that you're together is really important. And often we kind of like, we take for granted those things, like the health or the fact that we're all together. Some people are far apart and they can't see each other on Christmas, or they can't see each other for many years. So the fact that we can have those little luxury is just reminding our kids that those are the real luxuries of life, and that actually, as parents, as we grow, the memories of us all being together and whoever is fighting for the turkey leg or the or what's cranberry sauce or not. Or I don't know if you have Marmite, Steve, or
Oh, no, don't go there.
all of those things. Those are the memories. Those are the memories. You see, because Steve and I are just laughing and everything, because when we've been sharing the stories, it's just hilarious to see in which situation and how people differ in their answer, I would say like that, like even when he was saying about his daughter, 18 years old, and she said no straight away,
Yeah.
straight to the point. No, I don't have 10 euro. And
And interestingly, the same daughter. So years ago, what did everybody want for Christmas? They wanted games, they wanted books, they wanted toys, they wanted mobile phones, and kind of the list got more and more complicated as they got older. So what does the 18-year-old want for Christmas this year? A fridge. Right, okay.
you
And
know,
there's no consideration as to what the fridge might actually cost. That it's just, no, well, I want a fridge.
So you see when you think of it like that, though you can't say that it's not funny. It's really funny. Obviously, we're taking it really light-hearted, but if you were to look at it properly, if you just ask for the fridge, you could have asked a long time ago. To say,
Yeah.
you know what, for Christmas this year, don't get me no present. Just get me a fridge. Or do like a little how do they call it in here? In French, it's called cagnotte, where basically everybody just pitch in and stuff like that. And I love that. I think I love these unrealistic views that sometimes the children have. Because it's just kind of like gets you out of it. Like sometimes I hear my son say things, or even I was talking to a mother recently, and she was saying that a son had unrealistic views of what he wanted to do. So the son, unfortunately, at the moment is not been doing much, but he wants to be an engineer. So so the way she said it, she said it's so unrealistic, and she started laughing. I think sometimes we have to take things in this light-hearted way, because then we're not putting too much pressure on ourselves, but we're not also putting too much pressure on our kids. And we're just saying, you know what? Well, it is what it is right now, and let's work towards.
Yeah.
So maybe let's work towards the fridge. It might not arrive for Christmas, but yeah. So I think it's just fantastic. Sometimes when you get some of these comments like this, as a parent, it just makes you feel like, whoa.
Absolutely.
Let's stop a minute.
Yeah. I just feel the need to return to the that you mentioned Marmite, and there's a slogan, isn't there? You either love it or you hate it. I'm on the hate side of things. Although I tend not to use the word hate, I don't actually like it, but I dislike Marmite in a big way. I really do. So what did my kids do? They know that I like mature cheddar cheese, and they made me a mature cheddar cheese sandwich. Or they asked me, would you like a mature cheddar cheese sandwich, Dad? Love one, please. Yeah, brilliant. Well, they put Marmite on it as well. And I didn't know they were going to put Marmite on it. So, of course, I get the sandwich, didn't see any Marmite because it was well hidden, take a bite of the sandwich. And I thought, this cheese is strong. And then I took another bite. And I thought, this cheese is really strong. What is it? So I pulled it apart and saw that it was Marmite. And they thought that was hilarious. Um, but I went with the joke. I found it funny. I laughed about it. I didn't eat the rest of the sandwich because once I realized it was Marmite, my
Well,
head just wouldn't let me do it. It was those things.
weirdly enough, that's one of the things as well that I must say I've not adopted since I've been in England either.
Yeah,
I'm not on the Marmite side.
yeah, you
I'm,
can buy it in France now, by the way. You
yeah.
can buy it.
There's so many things now you can buy all over Europe. You go into in Turkey even, which is it's not it's Turkey in Europe. Oh my
Part
gosh.
of it. Yeah, a
Yeah,
little bit.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You go in Turkey in the supermarket and you got French yogurt. It's like what?
Yeah.
But yeah, but it's just these kind of things when you keep it and you think of it, those memories, they will be forever there. They will play a part that sometimes we don't know when we are in the moment, but it all plays a part. And the reason why I say this is because I recently went to France and I went also to visit my mom's grave. But I took my second son as well to go there. And as we were going and we were coming back from the cemetery, I was just telling him stories because it's basically where I used to live, is on the border of Bondy. So I was telling him stories. I was like, oh, I used to go to school here. And one time this happened and this happened. So when you think of Christmas and you focus on maybe the challenge or, the finances, or you focus on what you don't have, it takes away from what is most important. I think that's something we need
Yeah.
to remember.
Yeah. I think that's the thing, we've always tried to teach our kids it's not about having. That having is it's nice when you have stuff. It's nice when somebody buys you a gift that you really, really wanted, but it's not all about having. It's about being together. It's about a ton of things.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to celebrate those things. It's about memories as well. When I think about Christmas, I think about how my mum would set the table, not on Christmas lunchtime, but in the evening, kind of buffet food. And she would make a big fuss about it had to be right and the best china came out and all of that stuff, which at the
Yes.
time I kind of appreciated, but not really, not
Yeah.
fully. As we got older, of course I did, I understood. But yeah, it's quite interesting.
It is. And I remember bizarrely, I don't know if I think people still do that. People still bring out the great china or the nice, glasses or cocktail glasses or champagne glasses, that only come out on occasion. But I do remember specifically that my mom even had like a luggage for cutleries. It was a luggage. The reason why I say luggage is because it was like it was like a luggage and you opened it and it was only cutleries in there.
Yeah,
But it was like everything from your cutleries where you eat your starters to the dessert, but also your salad, or your
yeah.
soup or whichever.
Everything else.
Which is so funny because now, okay, I don't have that. I'm going to be completely honest.
We
For
have
me,
6 kids, we don't have that either.
completely honest. Everything, the cups in my house, they'll have little chef life. You know, they can be broken at any time. But um, when I think of that, you just mentioned it, and I thought of it, and I remember my mom having this, and it was tucked away. So after dinner and everything, all the festivities were finished, you had to wash and polish it and put it back into the exact, thing, and put it away until the next occasion. But all of those
Yeah,
things, I think, is funny. It makes me laugh. I love having that kind of memory of like, oh, we used to do this or we used to do that. And that's exactly what this end of year festivities, whether you celebrate Christmas or not, the fact that everything kind of slows down and you can be home or you can go visit friends. Obviously, there are people we shouldn't forget that are lonely at this time as well. And hopefully, if you are in that case, hopefully you can look into your community to see if they have any events that you can attend. Just not to be by yourself, if unless you like being by yourself, obviously, obviously. But yeah,
yeah.
Steve, anything else you want to say?
Well, we could talk all day, but no, I think I've said enough for today. But to remind everybody, patient, you just mentioned that sometimes people feel lonely and they don't know what to do about that. Interestingly, in my experience through the clients that I work with, sometimes somebody will tell me that they feel lonely, but yet they live in a house with other people and they still feel lonely.
Yeah.
So don't feel that. Don't think that there's nobody there to support you. If you really are struggling, drop us a message. You don't
Yes.
have to go public and leave a comment. Send a direct message and we will reply.
Yeah.
After today, I'm on holiday for a couple of weeks, but I still respond to my messages. Okay, not every hour or anything like that, but I still respond to my messages. So,
And I think also, not that we want to spoil alert anything, but in the new year we will have a few things for you. So just obviously have the best um, holiday that you can have. And then, as Steve said, if you need support at any time, email. We have your email, you have the WhatsApp. You also have obviously Messenger for Facebook. You can message us directly and we will get in touch with you. But also, in the new year, we will find ways to support you directly in other ways as well. So just it was just a light-hearted episode for today, just to talk about, the end of year festivities and everything. But we are here, we are here always. So we're not going anywhere. And next year we have more things coming for you. So hopefully you can join us and we can get to know you in person as well. Um, in any capacity, yeah, online and
uh,
so on. All right. So you take care, everyone. I'm gonna refrain from saying Merry Christmas. I've just said it. But I'm gonna say have amazing holidays and see you in the new year.
yep. Take care, everybody. See you again really soon. Bye for now.
Bye.